In this video we'll find the derivative of sine x geometrically by looking at a picture. We'll start with a unit circle with some angle x drawn on it, and that x also means that the arc length is x and its vertical height is sine x. We'll add another line that shows what happens when we increase the angle by a little bit. Let's call it dx. And we want to know how much higher does it get. So we're going to zoom in on that little part of the graph right there. Here's the zoomed in version. The black line is our original radius out to the edge of the circle. That angle x is what determines the sine x, the height of that triangle. So then we increase the angle by a small amount dx, and that, when we zoom in, looks like an almost parallel line that also touches the edge of the circle. What we're interested in is what's the difference between the original height and the new height, between sine x and sine x plus delta x. That'll be our delta y. And I've labeled that as dy over here. You can see that this is the difference in height between the old sine and the new one. This makes a new triangle. The hypotenuse of that triangle is the arc length along the circle, which is dx. That's because dx is measured in radians. And it's not a straight line literally, but we're going to pretend like it's a straight line, and that approximation is very good the smaller the dx is. So let's pretend like this is a triangle. What is that triangle? I've labeled this x here as the angle because this triangle is similar to the big triangle here. If we look at this triangle and the way that it attaches to the smaller triangle, the angle on the corner here would be 90 degrees minus x, the complement of x. And this is a straight line, so we're subtracting 90 degrees out of 180, so this angle does indeed have to be what's left over after we take the complement out, which is x. So this little triangle is just a small version of the big triangle. That means that the relationship between dx and dy is determined by a trigonometric identity, with x as this angle in between. In triangle language, that's the adjacent over the hypotenuse, which is just the definition of the cosine. So dy over dx, or the derivative, is equal to cosine of x.